My name is David Duncan. I'm one film, one movie film festival live Q&A with my co-host Alice Turner. If you would like to leave any comments or questions, please do. We may read them out during the show. Over, Talia.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all. Welcome to the live broadcast. Like Dave said, we are very excited tonight as we're joined by not one, not two, but three guests. As you can see, we're already joined by Sima Gonzai and Jane Mcilveen, who is from the North Wales Down Syndrome Association, or NWDSA for short. And hopefully, as the show goes on, we will be joined by the screenwriter and producer of My Feral Heart, which was our festival for this month's feature film, Duncan Paveling. If we get underway now, and while we wait for Duncan, we will start with you, Sima. What gave you the idea to create films like We Are Here, One Fine Day, and Freefall?
Okay, so delighted to be part of the festival. Absolutely brilliant, and thank you so much for inviting us. I was approached actually by Mencap, who knew that I was a filmmaker and that I also worked with dance, and I knew Fox Holly's academy, performance academy, where a lot of the freefall dancers train and come from. So it just so happened that I was in the school at the time delivering some film work, and then they kind of matched us up and said, would you like to, you're a filmmaker, freefall dance, would you like to come together? And I said, yes, certainly, that would be amazing. And so over I think it was about 7 years, we made 3 wonderful short films. And the very first film, Freefall, was really about capturing who they were about. People knew about Freefall Dance Company, but it was nice to make a short film to say, these are all the dancers, this is how they all move. Then the second film was more about a day in the life of Freefall, so all the things and places that they enjoy, and we made that film. So you'll see a train station, you'll see the Birmingham Royal Ballet Bar. You see lots of different places that they like to socialise and go to. Then the third film was more about bringing then Birmingham Royal Ballet and Freefall together. So Freefall Company, Dance Company, are a sister company to Birmingham Royal Ballet. So finally we got a chance to bring them together.
All right, thanks for that.
My question, when you look back on the pieces you made, how did and does it make you feel?
So I'm just really proud of the work, because I'm so proud of Freefall, because it's been over so many years. I've seen them literally grow as dancers and become more confident. Having that working partnership with a dance company for that long in film is such a joy to work with. And yeah, when I look back at those films, I just think, wow, it's amazing. And a lot of those films have gone all around the world and toured screen dance festivals. And, it's a great achievement that we've all done as a team. So yeah, I'm really pleased. And again, to then be part of your festival as well.
When did you first get into filmmaking?
So I got into filmmaking when I was very young, and I used to film dance performances, Indian festivals, and then that was about when I was 10 years old. And then I kind of got into filmmaking a lot more. I did it at school and did it at college, did it at uni, and came to Birmingham and studied it more. So I just studied. And then eventually decided that it was time to make it into a career. So Yeah, young age. I'm much older now.
Thank you. Over to you, Alice, for the next question.
All right, thanks. Now, this next question is actually for all of our guests, and if Jane can get involved with this as well. My question is, how did you get involved with people who have Down syndrome? And this is targeted at both of our guests.
Jane, do you want to answer that one?
Okay. My background, right from when I was a teenager, I did voluntary work, and then when I was studying, it was psychology and disability. But the main thing that I learned about Down syndrome was having my son in 1991. So, yeah, my son Sean, he's nearly 30. And then I've been working with the Down Syndrome Association for nearly 10 years now. So that's my background.
Seema?
Yeah, and for me, it was with Fox Holly's Performance College. I think they're called that now because they've changed the name over the years. And yeah, it was, just so happened to be in the school and delivering some work. And then I met all of the children and all of the pupils as part of the Performance College. And for me, the moment I saw any dance, I was completely taken back and really inspired to want to make something. So, and I've worked with many dance forms, Indian classical dance form, and lots of other dance forms. But for me, when Free Fall were the one group who I thought, wow, this needs to be made, and not only made but shown.
Good stuff. Okay. Right. Next question is for Jane. What kinds of workshops and activities do you do?
Right. Well, the Down Syndrome Association, we've got a project, it's called DS Engage. So they're putting on lots and lots of sports activities, dance, craft, particularly through, because of the lockdowns and things, these have all gone online. Before that, we had what's called Our Voice, which is an advocacy team of people, and we've had them around the UK. One of our team members, Joe, is joining us tonight. I think that's him coming in now. Hi, Joe.
Here he is.
Hi.
Hi, Joe.
So
Hi.
Joe's a really active member of the Our Voice group, and I know he does lots of the DS Engage things as well, don't you?
Totally.
So, yeah. So do you want to tell them what kind of activities the DS Engage have been putting on that you've joined in?
Yeah, I've tuned in. To be honest with you, really, the one that really stands out to me is the fitness.
Yeah.
Was Alex,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been so impactful.
Yeah.
So impactfully positive on my life, because in a way that has helped me to actually be to achieve one of the many achievements I've wanted to achieve in. And I was recently being on TV on the BBC with the Lucille account.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's and so the DS Engager activities that are online, but the Our Voice is, like I said, an advocacy group where a team of people are actually working with the Down Syndrome Association to help us and tell us what they want us to do. So, okay.
My question: how many people have you helped over lockdown?
Oh, I have absolutely no idea, but we're getting hundreds of people that join in and sign up to all the activities, and they run throughout the week. So we don't have figures, but we have a lot, and it just grows and grows and grows because people then tell their pals, oh, we did this, and lots of different things going on.
Must have been pretty tough over the past year, what with COVID and the lockdowns, and especially for the people that go to the workshops of the DSA, isn't it?
Yeah, and not just the things we run, but everything, So all the clubs and activities and work have all shut down. We've had lots of calls from people where it's started to affect their emotional well-being and things, So, but you've been affected as well, Robbie, haven't you? From the lockdown.
Yeah, like to be honest with you, because I'm also part of a charitable organisation as well called Charles Enterprise.
Yeah.
And they do similar things, like they do live events like discos and all sorts of things for people with Down syndrome and disabilities.
Yeah.
And when that shut down because of the lockdown things, I didn't really know how to keep myself active. So I came to do my own personal fitness, and then later down the line, when it came to November, when the most serious lockdown came in, that's when my parents told me about the Down Syndrome Association, and it was in that month in November when I first joined and became a part of the TSA in November last year.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've even had some brilliant opportunities I never thought I would be a part of, which is so impactfully positive on my life.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks.
So that's a very big thank you to both guys and especially the DSA.
Very nice.
Thanks, Joe.
We are joined by the screenwriter and producer of My Feral Heart now, everybody.
Hi there. Sorry about that. I had a few technical issues there, so sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I was struggling.
That's no problem at all. Save the best for last.
I doubt that very much.
There it is.
Anyway, it's a good thing you're here, Duncan, because we were just about to get to you. So my question is, in the film, you're credited as one of the producers of the film. Is this your first piece to be produced by you, or have you done others?
This was the debut in every single role for us, in the roles that we're credited for. So yeah, it was a debut as a writer, producer. And we did some casting as well. So to a degree, it was our debut as casting. But never sort of had a feature film credit under those titles at all. So it was completely, we were completely, I suppose, wet behind the ears, they'd say. So it was completely new to us.
That's good to hear. Also, we went through this question with Jane and Seema before. So how did you get involved with people who have DS?
It all started probably when I was about 13. I started doing some during the summer holidays when I wasn't at school. I did some volunteering for MenCap, and just sort of never stopped from there. Really, I think always sort of just helped out in sort of holidays, and whether it was with MenCap or more local sort of locally based sort of support groups, voluntary. Some of it, as I got a little bit older, I sort of did some paid work, and then ended up working in a school for a while. It's a local sort of special education needs school, and with young people with a variety of different needs, ranging from autism to ADHD, Tourette's, Down syndrome. So it was a really sort of wide sort of range of people I've met and worked with, and it's always been just an absolute joy and a privilege to do. So I've met some amazing people, and students and I suppose carers and teachers and such alike. So it's been a big part of my life for a long time.
My question: what were your best bits from the film?
Okay. Hi, David. Thank you. The best bit. I think
From My Feral Heart, I mean.
yeah. My favorite aspect of my favorite part of the film, and was one of my favorite aspects of the process as well, was and it's actually it's a sequence early on in which the character that Stephen plays, Luke, is bathing his mother, played by Eileen Pollock. And it's a scene that's quite personal to me. It's sort of based on my experiences caring for a relative, and it was something that was a very short piece in the script when it was written. It was only a few lines. But speaking to Jane, the director, we kind of knew what we were trying to achieve with that scene, and there was a little bit of freedom to sort of play around a little bit. And to be honest with you, the majority of that scene was kind of ad-libbed on the day. And it's I can't really take credit for any of it. It all came from everybody else in the room. It was a disaster that day because the heating had broken. So we had to fill up the tea urn, which is kind of massive tea urn with boiling water to warm the bath up. The electricity, I think, was playing up as well. We had police cars and ambulances going past. So the sound guy was, bless him, he was pulling his hair out, and that's where we got that lovely moment with Stephen when he picks up the shower head and says, "Is that the police?" She's moaning again, sort of thing. And that was completely ad lib because there was just his police car, and that we couldn't ignore the sound that was getting picked up. So we thought it was something Jane sort of spoke to Stephen about, and it just sort of came out of the situation. And it's one of my favourite moments in the.
Yeah, I seen it on Sunday. It's really good editing and stuff.
Yeah, it's beautifully edited by Benji. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it on Sunday. So
lovely, thank you. But that's certainly my favourite. That was one of my favourite days of shooting. We only had one day with Eileen Pollock, so we got quite a lot from her in just a day. It's one of my favourite parts of the film, but it was also one of my favourite fondest memories shooting.
Talking of Stephen's character, how was it when you shot the scenes of Luke, who he plays, taking care of the mystery girl?
Okay. Well, one thing, it was really cold. That was one thing it was. It was freezing. We shot in early November, and it was very cold. So Pixie, who played the feral girl, played the girl, she was really sort of brave, because it was freezing. It was very, very cold. So, I mean, those scenes was again some of the nicer things to do, even though it was cold, because we shot those first. We shot those in the first 3 days. And it was really exciting because it was the first time we got to see these characters come to life. And Jane, as a director, she only does a certain amount of rehearsal. She likes to try and create something very much in the moment as well. She doesn't rely upon rehearsing or over rehearsing. She does rehearsals, but she doesn't over rehearse. So there's some lovely little moments that sort of just captured, again, sort of from the moment, little things that happen and come from the actors and from the moment. But it was exciting at that point. I think on the first day we had a few technical issues. Something obviously follows me around because I've had some today. We had a few technical issues that day, and it sort of delayed us a little bit. but it was cold. But everyone was brilliant. Everyone just kind of just got on with the job in hand. Really, I think everyone had to sort of adapt and everybody sort of ran around a little bit more that day or those days just to make sure that we got everything we needed, because we were only in a very we had a limited kind of schedule, and we were only due to be there, I think, 2 days. We ended up there 2.5 days, I think, shooting that particular part.
I had a question. I think you may have answered it, but I would love to see the film. Haven't had a chance to see it yet. But is it a feature film? Is that right?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah. How long did it take you to make the whole production from writing it to releasing it?
Oh, that's a very good question.
That is a good question. So, I mean, the idea kind of came about I had the idea for a while. The first draft I wrote was in 2013, believe it or not. We shot it in 2014, and it was completed in 2015. So it was probably from start to finish about an 18-month, I'd say about an 18-month period. And we shot it in initial shoot was 19 days, and then we had an extra 2 days in the following January, did some pickups. But then took to the March of 2016 before it was screened anywhere. We screened it in America at our first festival, and it did quite a few festivals that year, and was finally released in the end of 2016 at the cinema. And then it wasn't until 2017 it was on DVD, and then only recently it's been on TV. So it had a run on Sky sort of in that time as well. It was only so it's been a really long journey, but the production itself, from sort of concept and to writing through to final production and post-production, about 18 months, I'd say.
Yeah. And the film is available to see on the iPlayer until at least early next year.
That's right. Yeah, we managed to get a really it's great that it's, because sometimes these things can only be on there a month. But they've now extending a lot of the BBC iPlayer stuff for a year now, which is lovely, because it means, in the hope that certainly the biggest audience that would have ever been available to now. So, which is for a film of our scale, is lovely. I don't think we'd always hoped it would end up on something like this, but we didn't expect it to happen.
And it's we have a question actually from Rhiannon.
Have you done any dance, Joe?
Yes, it's for Joe. Have you done any dances?
Yeah, I've actually been dancing since a pretty early age, like at least since the age of 9 years old.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I even studied a part of it, which is the one thing that I'm most into with the dancing, and that's the physical theatre.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the physical theatre dancing, which is all about, really about expression.
Yeah.
It's basically like expressive acting, which is in relation is kind of what I saw in the movie that I only watched this afternoon.
Oh, you just watched it today?
Yeah.
Wow.
We do have a bit of dancing in there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in relation to that, I just realised with the character movements and how the character movement expresses those emotions, those feelings that people go through.
So you enjoy dancing then?
Absolutely.
I think there's a film that needs to be made on you, with you, Joe.
There's a dance film that needs to be made.
I've been thinking about Pearl Heart since I watched it this afternoon, And my feedback on it, I would probably say it's really good with how impactfully positive it is in highlighting and raising awareness of that it's in the line between that. Yes, you can still have your own independence and do things for yourself, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you still need that care and support in place. And on top of all that, it was really good. It was really great to see those relationships develop.
Yeah.
But
That's great.
then when it came to the ending, I thought there could have been a whole lot more with that.
we Yeah, we have that quite a lot actually, and well. Firstly, it's lovely that you felt that way, and one of the things that we wanted to ensure about the film was, first and foremost, that it was an authentic film, and it was based very much on our experiences and my experiences working in those environments, and showing that people everybody has things that we find difficult, regardless of our abilities. We all have things that we find difficult, and with the right support, the right help, we can achieve so much. But there's so much that we do share. There's so much in our lives that are, sort of, I suppose, common with all of us. We have that comment about the ending quite a lot. People say, they'd like to have a little bit more. They'd like to see where these characters go. So
it is the thing with the mystery girl. To know who she is, because I've got a bit of a feeling that she might have been from that care home herself, and she probably tried to escape like she did. So I think what would be really good if there could be a second movie of about the mystery girl, and still about the guy with the Down syndrome. Be more about showing all the different points of views and not just one point of view.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, what's lovely is having that. I mean, one of the things we really wanted was people to kind of have their own kind of thoughts and feelings about what things represented and what they'd like to see next. I think I've just seen a question for will there be a sequel?
Yeah. But actually is rambling on. Will there ever be a sequel? Will there be a My Fair Part 2?
Yeah, as a friend of mine said, will there be a sequel? Yes or no?
I think I can happily share this. We're kind of working on a concept at the moment, which is not so much a direct sequel, but is what we can call a companion piece. It's sort of something that's set in the same world, maybe with some of the same characters. So you would get to see them. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I'm going to compare it. This is ridiculous. I'm going to compare it to Marvel now. But like, you have like the Avengers, but then you have like kind of like Winter Soldier, and you have like Spider-Man. So it's kind of they're films that are happening in the same world, and some of the characters may cross over. So if Marvel can do it, why can't we? So like, but it's more of a companion piece than a direct sequel. But it would probably give you a little bit of an understanding or notion as to how things develop for the characters. But that's something we're working on. It won't be the next thing we do. We've got a couple of other things lined up first, but hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years we'll have that.
We have another question for Joe. Did you enjoy the story of My Feral Heart? And that's from Rhiannon again.
Oh yeah, actually, I kind of touched on it before, but yeah, what I do like about this story of the Feral Heart is the whole thing on the raising awareness, because like it's about people in a care home and everything. And the last time we really saw that on TV or anything was years ago with Tracy Beaker. And for the whole series of Tracy Beaker, there was only one person with a disability, or not Down syndrome or something else, but there was only that one person. And so, and since then, I've always been wondering myself, will there ever be something like that in a care home, but on people with disabilities? So when I came about and heard of Pearl Heart, I thought that has the potential to have a really big future and hopefully a TV series to actually show this raising awareness things and really getting to know and just to really have their voices heard, their life experiences, and just really putting that forward and to also have other people as well, like the mystery girl, to have their points of views as well as the person with Down syndrome and disabilities.
Yeah, that's a very good answer.
Really good answer.
We have another question. Seema, how was it collaborating with Royal Ballet and one of your films, Freefall?
Yeah, so the final film that we made was called We Are Here. So that was a chance for us to have all of the dancers as part of Freefall Dance Company dance with two of the principal dancers with Birmingham Royal Ballet. And surprisingly, you know, they both kind of rehearsed in the same building, but they'd never been in the same production. And film was the best one, the best kind of platform for me to bring them together, really. And so, yeah, it was very interesting in the sense that Freefall are very improvisational in the way that they tell stories. And the principal dancers weren't so much. So actually, they found it quite difficult. And they hadn't really done a dance film before either, where it was just the two of them. They were very used to, there was two principal dancers. They were very used to being in larger stage productions with lots of other dancers. So we filmed actually the Roman Fort in Coventry, and it was the hottest day. It felt like one of the hottest weekends of the year, and we just we were there for 2 days. And the Freefall Dance Company, the dancers absolutely loved the day. You know, even, no matter how hot it was, they still helped each other, encouraged each other, supported one another, and improvised as much as they could within the large, big Roman fort that we had. And then they really helped the ballet dancers too. So I think in the end, we all became one big team working together. But I have to say, I was quite surprised at the dynamics of the grouping. You know, Freefall were so kind of 100% knew exactly what to do and when, and the ballet dancers needed a bit more guidance. So that was really good. By day 2, we were all together. It was really enjoyable, and then we had the Birmingham Royal Ballet Orchestra, who then saw the film and said, "Oh, we'd love to do the score for it." So that was really great that the whole of Birmingham Royal Ballet and its sister companies all made this one thing together. So that was a really positive collaboration. And yeah, we're really pleased with what happened and the outcome.
Brilliant stuff. I've got a question for Jane. Have you seen Duncan's film? And if you have, did you enjoy it?
I have seen it. I saw it initially when it was first aired at tape. So that's going back a couple of years now. And then I watched it again more recently. I thought it was great. It was surreal, and it was I wasn't sure of the mystery girl, and initially, but I have to say, second time round, I kind of was wondering, you know, whether that was to do with the caring side, and like you were saying before about being responsible for and things like that. But I thought particularly it was very probably eye-opening for a lot of people to
Yeah.
to think that someone who has Down syndrome could take on the caring role for a mother who was unwell, and have all those responsibilities and be able to go to the shop and handle money and do the cooking and look after the house as well.
The story's narrative was really, like Joe said earlier, very impactful on
Yes.
on the whole surrounding of Down syndrome, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a very honest film as well. And in the care home, the roles of the care staff, I thought that was, those characters were good as well. Just that informality and also it wasn't just caring for. But what really struck me the first time was that does happen, that people can be living almost independently. And then when a loved one dies, social services step in and it's a care home or without any discussion with the person who it's all about. So those sort of things. So I thought it was a very real, very honest. I really enjoyed it.
Well,
But I was left wanting more as well.
Just to pick it up on what you said there about, I suppose, the decisions that are made for people, and I think that I mean, aside from my writing, I'm a qualified therapist, and I do a lot of work. I still run a practice alongside my writing, and I've done a lot of work in that area, and with working with families and young people, and it's something I always talk to people about is, involve young people in those discussions. This is about them, if they have a voice, everyone has a voice, but if they can verbalize how they're feeling, let's ask those questions.
And even if they can't verbalize, there are lots and lots of ways of finding out what people, their wishes, their dreams, their likes,
absolutely,
their dislikes.
There's ways of communicating.
On the advocates as well that they've got.
Sorry, David.
The advocates they got.
The advocates, yeah.
Because
absolutely.
they can help you as well, or the people that support them.
Yeah, the advocates, making sure people are listened to.
Yeah. My most solemn, most emotional part of the film was where Luke got transferred from his personal home to the care home, and
heartbreaking.
Seeing his facial appearance of sadness, that just my heart.
Yeah. I think there are certain moments that, having sat in sort of screenings and things, there are certain moments that kind of, I think, were key to the film's sort of reception, I think. And that was one of them. I think at that point, I always felt that at that point, if you're not on board with the film, I don't think you're going to be. I think because you've seen him care for his mother, you've seen his personality. He's got just got this wonderful personality, and then to be taken away, and then to see that side of it. I think if people weren't on board with the journey and the character then, and I felt that it just was never going to be the film for them. And Stephen did well. Stephen, is just remarkable, and he's a brilliant actor, and Jane and Susie, our cinematographer, just captured it beautifully. Really beautifully.
And all that about people who have disabilities having to prove and show that they can do things. Let's make sure you're safe, rather than you or I just going out and doing it, and then things might happen and you learn by those mistakes. Whereas it's that sense of belonging and earning a right to have a life that you and I have.
That'd be nice to wrap up now.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're drawing to a close now. So
thank you for joining. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, sorry, David.
Thank you for joining us for our film festival day for me. Thank you to Duncan, Seema, and Jane for coming along. Don't forget you can watch
as well.
Don't forget you can watch the festival films on the same website. My Feral Heart is on the BBC iPlayer.
Can I also just say that Joe did a video.
Yeah.
Oh
as
yes.
well. I think there's a link to it somewhere.
Yes, it's in the comments as well. To anyone that's still watching the last few seconds of this, the link is just coming up there now.
It's on YouTube, which you can watch.
So just go to that YouTube link and you'll see Joe's video there. Anyway, that is just about it. Like Dave mentioned, we will see each and every one of you for our next Q&A, which is on the 1st of June. That's a Tuesday, because there will be another bank holiday Monday at the very end of May. Our feature film for the last weekend of May, from the 28th to the 30th of May, is Heavy Load. So once again, thanks to all of our guests, especially our very special guest that Jane introduced, Joe. I hope everybody who's watching this at home has a very, very safe journey home, or has a wonderful evening ahead of them. From me, Elliot Turner, and Dave, and from all of us here, we hope to see you next month for our next Q&A.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you
Take care,
very
everyone.
much.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.